Now another way to understand refractive index. Refractive index symbol is mu. Uh, in the previous lecture I had drawn a diagram like this. This was your glass slab. This point was A, this point was B, this point was C, this point was D. An incident ray was coming like this. At this point to the surface AB, this was the normal. This was the angle of incidence. This was the angle of refraction. Because the velocity decreases, so the light from the original direction bends at this point towards the normal. Again at this point, this is the normal. This is the incident ray, and it was finally going like this. If this is equal to R, this is equal to also R, because alternate angles. Actually, sine of the angle of incidence in this medium 1, over sine of the angle of refraction in the medium 2 is equal to refractive index of the second medium divided by refractive index of the first medium. So if you cross multiply, you get mu1 sin I is equal to mu2 sin R is constant. Suppose we don't have two mediums, we have more than two. Like in this case, this is medium 1, this is medium 2, this is medium 3, refractive index mu1, mu2, mu3. Incident ray, refracted ray. For this medium, this is the incident ray, this is the refracted ray. For this medium, this is the incident ray and this is the refracted ray. So if this, let it be theta 1, this angle is the angle of refraction, which I have not mentioned here, and this will be equal to this also. So let this is theta 2, which I have not mentioned here, I have mentioned here as theta 2. Now this will be different than theta 2. Let it be theta 3. So since this is theta 3, this is also theta 3. So what is the conclusion from here? Mu of the medium into sine of the angle of incidence in the same medium is constant. So from here, mu of the medium and sine of the angle of incidence, that is sine theta 1, is equal to mu of this medium, that is mu 2, and sine of the angle of incidence in this medium, theta 2, sine theta 2, is equal to mu of this medium into sine of the angle of incidence in this medium, sine theta 3, is constant. So if you look at these three things, the conclusion is mu sine theta, mu sine theta, mu sine theta. That is mu sine theta is constant. Now two more expressions for refractive index. Mu. When light travels from one medium to another, its frequency, it does not change. And we know from previous chapters, velocity is equal to frequency into wavelength. Now, if you look at this wave and if you look at this wave, the frequency of this is more, because more number of vibrations are contained in this length. Here the less number of vibrations are contained. And what is wavelength? That is from this point to this point, called wavelength. So velocity v is equal to nu lambda. For frequency I am using the symbol nu. So since frequency remains constant, therefore in medium 1, let the velocity is v1, will be frequency into wavelength of light in that medium. And in medium 2, the velocity will be v2 will be frequency, which is constant, into wavelength in that medium. So from here, nu is equal to v1 by lambda 1. From here, nu is equal to v2 by lambda 2. Therefore, refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium means light going from first to second is equal to velocity of light in the first medium v1 divided by velocity of the light in the second medium v2, or that is same thing as wavelength of light in the first medium divided by wavelength of the light in the second medium. Now previously we have derived lateral displacement. Another interesting, rather important expression for a lateral displacement. Another important expression for lateral displacement. Previously I had derived lateral displacement T times sine I minus R over cos R. T was the thickness of the glass slab, I angle of incidence, R angle of refraction, R angle of refraction. From here to here was the lateral displacement. The light was supposed to go like this. After refraction from here and here, it was traveling like this. I draw a perpendicular. So this was the lateral displacement RT that was derived like this. Now, let us modify this. Sine I minus R, that is sine A minus B expression, sine I into cos R minus cos I into sine R whole divided by cos R. So I divide cos R with this and with this. So sine I into cos R divided by cos R. This minus same thing as this, cos I into sine R divided by cos R. This cos R cancels. So I am left with, left with T into sine I cos I. Sine R over cos R is tan R. Now, how to put the value of tan R? Now, we know sine I over sine R is equal to refractive index. So, cross multiplying, sine R is equal to sine I over mu. And since we know sine R, therefore cos R is equal to 1 minus sine square R, square root of that. Sine R is sine I by mu. So, sine square R will be sine square I by mu square. So, for this I substitute this. I take LCM. Mu square comes here. Mu square minus sine square I divided by mu square. There is a square root. There is a square root. The square root of the numerator is this. Square root of the denominator becomes mu. So cos R we have found out. Sin R we have found out. Therefore tan R is equal to sin R over cos R. For sin R I put this value, that is sin I by mu. For cos R I put this value, so which becomes mu by this. Mu cancels. So I am left with sin I over mu square minus sin square I square root. Now this expression is now simplified as T remains as T, sin I, cos I remains as cos I. For tan R, I write this, sin I over mu square minus sin square I square root. Now sin I here, so I take sin I common. I have written on the right hand side, so I am left with 1 here. Sin I is taken out, so I am left with cos I over mu square minus sin square I square root. So this is another expression, important expression for lateral displacement.